So today we're actually going to go ahead and talk about this whole sneaker trend, okay? The whole tennis shoes, the Jordans, the ones, the dunks, blazers, all that kind of stuff, okay? So apparently there is a downward trend going on, and it's mainly because people just are not buying these overly priced, oh, I said it, sneakers. To me, it just seems like the sneakers are just not moving. All right, I see myself out. But no, seriously, like it just seems like people are not out here interested in purchasing these dang sneakers. So we're going to go ahead and look at this video first. And this one is essentially the one that kind of kick started. Dang, what's up with my puns today? This whole thing. Let's take a look at it. Hi, so I am breaking this up real quick. I actually just have some quick little promos, okay? So this one right here, definitely check it out. This is New York Giant and Exile. This is for all football, everything, okay? New York Giant, all that. And then this one right here, Walk and Drive with Alex. This is just walking and driving videos that I'll be doing, just various different areas. Also, I do have an eBay store, okay? So if you want to go and help your girl out, all of these links will be down below. Now, let's get back into it.
Does anyone want to explain why shoes are literally just dying right now? I own a sneaker store and we've been struggling for the last couple months. And y'all can say, oh, it's because you overprice things. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, it's a Yeezy. You're overpricing it. It's $110. Retails like 2 something. Market's like 190. I'm pricing it at 110. It's brand new. An off-white lot dunk, which you haven't been able to get for 4 years now. Used to be going for $500 to $600. Market's like 400. We have them priced at 320. A shoe that's sold out, hard to get, a SB Navy 4, it's used, but 210, that's like retail. And then you have stuff that are like Jordan 1s, like these shattered backboards that just came out. We were charging like $170 for them or something like that, which retails higher. And then we got like Lucky Greens, the Royal Toes, all these things are going for well under retail and we have them priced under retail. For example, like a yellow ochre, which is not even a bad shoe, is going for like $90 in store here, which is crazy. Retail is like what, 170? Is definitely an interesting time in the sneaker world right now. And you'd think that people would be coming to sell us their shoes too because the market's down. They just want to get rid of some stuff. But that's not even the case. We haven't had a lot of people coming to sell to us. I mean, last week we did buy a lot of shoes, but this week we're a little slow. So if you guys are looking to sell us your shoes or come and buy some shoes because you're looking to buy the dip, then please stop by 1049 East Imperial Highway, Placentia, California. It's Hidden Realm.
Okay, so he's over here saying, yo, we're charging less than what your market price will actually be. I'm not understanding why people don't want to go ahead and buy our shoes, go and look at all the stuff. And he was mentioning that, hey, we can also buy your shoe. So why not just go ahead and sell it? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I can see why people aren't buying it because let's keep it real. What's really a necessity? Your mortgage, your rent, car note, whatever medical stuff you got going on, food, lights, or shoes. So I could see why people just really aren't interested. Now, what I also do want to know is he was like, oh, well, that shoe goes for, let's say, $300. We're selling it for 210. Were you always, and I'm not saying that, he was or wasn't, I'm just questioning. Were you always selling it for 3 or 210? Or did you just notice like, okay, people really aren't buying our stuff like that. So I guess we just gotta let's go ahead and change the price tags. So I'm just curious. Okay, so
F to the resellers. A lot of you culture vultures, white kids came in. Y'all started wearing Jordans and jacking up the price. Because I'm gonna be honest, when I was in high school, when I was early 2000s, late 90s, white niggas wasn't wearing Jordans. You know what I mean? Like it might have been like 2 or 3 white kids that grew up around blacks and listen to hip hop who might throw some mics on, but the majority wasn't. That was like a trendy thing. Like white kids is wearing everything that we doing, and I'm not trying to sound like a racist or whatever, but a lot of y'all infiltrated the sneaker culture only for profit and gain, and y'all wasn't a part of it. Like y'all didn't know what it was like waking up, going into the store, seeing some shit you ain't know was coming out, or getting the East Bay magazine. And yeah, I mean, just being able to buy the Jordans retail is like so refreshing because I never paid resale my whole life until I got out of high school. Like it was even the patent leathers, you could still like it might. I remember like I say maybe 9th or 10th, you might see a line with like 2, 3 niggas, but like not this crazy shit. And I don't mind the line shit. Like I'm not knocking the line shit. I'm knocking the niggas that came in and proliferated the community and was charging niggas 3, 4, 5, 10s 5 times what the shoes was worth. And that shit is over with. And now y'all niggas got to find a new hustle.
Listening to what he just said, he's saying people who were not a part of this trend were not a part of the culture, because there's a culture behind all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like you have people who weren't a part of it, outsiders, if you will. You have people who weren't even really a part of it, but then you go and see, oh man, they making money. Well, why not I make money too? And now you're doing all this kind of stuff. Now you got these long lines. You're charging people way more. I mean, you got some people who say, yo, these things cost $100 at the store, but you're selling it for $200. You know what I mean? So it's like when you really think about it, it's like, I would argue that's what really ruined it too. And people got tired of it. And people say, you know what, I don't have any money for all this extra stuff. I'm over it. So whether they decide to get it from just another source or the original source, which is the store, Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever, or they're just like, you know what, I'm just good on it. And honestly, can you blame them? Y'all been price gouging like crazy. Price gouging. But let's continue.
Does anyone want to explain why shoes are literally just dying right now? I own a sneaker store and we've been struggling for the last couple months. Last week we did buy a lot of shoes, but this week we're a little slow. So if you guys are looking to sell us your shoes or come and buy some shoes because you're looking to buy the dip, then please stop by.
Snap and EBT payments are missed for 1 month and suddenly the sneaker market collapses. What does that tell you? Look, this got 7 million views on Twitter. A lot of people were speculating, well, clearly this is a sign of a recession. Not entirely, or at least that's not the case from a lot of these analysts in the markets, but clearly things might be a little tighter. And the people buying things like sneakers or other industries might have less money to go and spend on these things. I also think part of this is that people realize they can just get like replicas and this glue doesn't smell the same or doesn't come with a fucking StockX logo or some shit. Who cares? If you're actually going to wear them, it's the same fucking difference. Probably the same factory. And honestly, you're not going to fucking sell them for any more than you're actually buying them. They're just sitting on your shelf forever. Oh, I have these. I spent $600 on them. Now they're worth $150. Yeah, well, you're fucked, dude. You just lost a bunch of money. So anyways, Snap and EBT are funded for the entire calendar year of 2026. But if they're ever cut in the future, some things like this will completely crash.
Now, what I do want to mention with what he said was about the whole counterfeit replica stuff. I am in no way, shape, or form telling you to go out and get the counterfeit stuff. However, I do see why some people may say, $600 for this or $150 for a dupe. You know what I mean? I've noticed it now. I mean, look, and this is no shade towards people, okay? You got these more expensive brands, and then you have Shein or Fashion Nova or what is it, Pretty Little Things. They'll all be like, oh, we could make that. Oh, they charge you $200. We got you for $20. And they're making the exact same thing. Now, the quality may not be the same, but the overall look is. So you'll have people that say, well, I could just go ahead and pay the $20 as opposed to paying the $600 or the $200, however much that thing may have cost, So I do see that there has been more of support towards that kind of market because they're like, a lot of the stuff is made, the authentic stuff is made in the same factory as the dupe that may have a thread torn in one area, or maybe the color's off a little bit, and then those are now not authentic. We don't have the little seal, but this is authentic, but it's all made in the same place. So you have some people that are just like, I think I'd much rather just go that route. And also, like he was saying, you have a lot of people who just simply don't have money. Whether these are people that are on Snap or not, I don't know. But you do have a lot of people who just simply don't have the money like that. And they're just like, I'm good. Food or shoes, but let's continue.
So I own a sneaker store, and here's 3 main reasons why the sneaker market has crashed. 1, oversupply. There is way too much supply for the little demand that there is. 2, people now would rather buy for comfort. They'd rather buy on-cloud Hokas, just more comfortable wear. They don't really care about buying Jordan 4s anymore, Jordan 11s, things like that, even though those SKUs are still very in demand. Number 3, and I think this ties into it, and I haven't heard many people talk about it, but I really think that like the the love that people have for sneakers is just gone now. Like people, like sneakers used to be a talking point. Like when you meet somebody with like, let's say an off-white shoe, oh my god, such a cool shoe, and you know you could strike up conversation and become friends with someone because you know they had some sneakers that you really like, and you know you guys are into the same thing. You guys are like sneaker hobbyists, and now I really don't see that at all anymore.
Now that I would actually agree with. So like when I was in school and whatnot, I would see people who would have nice shoes, and I had some. You know, I was more of a blazer kind of chick, anyways. So I had my Nike blazers, and I would get compliments on those. I had this one pair, black Nike blazers. The swish was it was like glue. It was glow in the dark, and like on like the toe part or whatever, they had like skeleton feet, yo. I mean, yeah, skeleton, you know, toes or whatever, yo. Okay. I used to get compliments on those shoes. But anyways, that's the thing. It's like you have a lot of people who they used to be like, oh man, your kicks are nice, yada yada yada, whatever the case may be. Now, you know, I'm not saying that it's not an exclusive club anymore, but this goes into that second video I showed you with that guy who was saying, you know, like you have people who come into the community who weren't really a part of that kind of sneaker culture. And then eventually what ended up happening was, I don't want to say they washed it out, but it got washed, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, they kind of washed it out. The trend is now it's everyone, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's not as special anymore. It's kind of just like, yeah, whatever. So that also relates to what she's saying, where you don't really see many people, man, your shoes are nice, da 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 da, in your daily life anymore. Of course, you know, in school that was more of a concentrated setting, but you get what I mean. You just don't see that as much. Clearly I mean, she's a sneaker reseller. Clearly she isn't seeing that really at all, you know, and she's like, yo, I'm not really seeing that. And I think when you water down a market so much, people are just going to be like, there's so many options. There's too much product in store. Okay. That just is what it is.
Hey everyone, do you still believe sneakers are the sure way to make quick money? Big news dropping today, everyone. The sneaker resale world that once turned $200 shoes into $1,000 overnight has completely changed in 2025. Shop owners across America are showing shelves full of once hyped Jordans and Dunks priced below what they paid. Many limited pairs now sell for less than the original price. Reports show only half of the new high releases make any profit at all, compared to almost every pair flipped for double a few years ago. Now, higher prices for food and rent have made people think twice before spending hundreds on shoes. Brands are also making way more pairs on purpose, so nothing's really feeling rare anymore. These days of easy flipping are gone, and full-time resellers are closing stores and changing careers. Now, the market isn't dead. It's just growing up. Smart buyers are finding great deals, and the patient collectors are winning. So what do y'all think? Is the sneaker game over, or is this the best time ever just to buy?
So his goes back to the other guy's video, essentially. Yeah, people just don't have the money to be sitting up here trying to purchase all this stuff. You know, they have other things that they'd much rather do. And also a point that he made was, and it goes into that whole thing of being exclusivity. I completely get it in what he's saying, but we're going to go ahead and look at a person, actually really two, who are kind of rejoicing. So, well, is it necessarily a bad thing?
I'm so glad that reseller sneaker market died, because y'all was some fucking losers. Okay? I'll never forgive y'all for how much I had to overpay for fucking dunks. And now you can get dunks in the fucking store. They fucking like $80. I remember them same freaking dunks was like hundreds of dollars, $300-$400 for fucking dunks, y'all. Like, that's one trend I'm glad died. Because y'all was losers. Like, it was just so disgusting. Like, you literally could not go in the store and buy sneakers nowhere. You could not buy tennis shoes out of the store. Anytime you needed a pair of sneakers, you had to go on StockX or Kits on Fire, like all these crazy resale websites, because it was no fucking shoes in the store. Y'all bitches should have went to jail for that. It was a highway robbery. And I'll never forget y'all for that. For ripping us off when we just wanted a pair of fucking dunks. Disgusting.
She's mad, yo. She's like, I've had enough, okay? There's no reason why this stuff costs this much money. There's no reason why you guys thought that this was okay to do. She was like, I'm finished. But that's the thing. I remember seeing like Air Force Ones, for example. They're talking about $100 and some dollars, and I'm like, they're like $70 at the store. Like, what are we? Why are we? Why would I pay you $100 and something dollars? Why would I pay you $40+ more for something that I could get at the store for $40+ less? Let's continue.
I just saw a post by a glorified sneakerhead who was talking about how the sneaker market is currently collapsing and nobody knows why. And I'm just curious, are people just so oblivious to the realities of what is currently happening right now? Like, you have people who are rationing their medicine, people who are deciding between putting food on the table or keeping the lights on. There are people who cannot afford to put gas in their car to go to work. Most Americans can't afford a $200 emergency. And you think people have time to participate in the sneaker market where sneakers are being resold for upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time where millions of people have been laid off, particularly Black women have been laid off in the course of the last year. I think they said upwards of 1.5 million people have been laid off in 2025. So if you're wondering why the sneaker market has collapsed, it's because the economy is slowly collapsing. Stop looking at the stock market as an indicator of success for the U.S. economy, because the vast majority of Americans do not own stock. They do not participate in the stock market. And people are starting to make sounder decisions about how they spend their money when they know the market is unreliable, employment is unreliable, and you have folks who have been laid off for upwards of months, if not over a year.
She didn't tell any lies, okay? That's the thing, it just comes back to looking at the trends, looking and seeing that people simply do not have money, okay? People do not have the money. People are they're honestly saying, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to put that on the shelf. Okay, we're not about to go ahead and purchase this. Yeah, we'll just later for that. Okay. And can you honestly blame them? Because at the end of the day, it's like, what are we doing? Am I going to sit up here and be like, you know what? Yeah, I need the sneakers. Well, little Devin, you just got to wait. You got to wait for food, okay? I need them sneakers. And that's also another thing with the stock market. Those are rich folk, okay? Rich people, they're not buying sneakers like this, okay? You got your Jay Leno's that buy, fancy cars and all that. But Jay Leno is not buying enough cars to fit even a 16th of Americans. You know what I mean? It just isn't going to happen that way. So it's like you're looking at that, but that's not the reality of what's actually happening in real time, in real life. People got other priorities, and shoes just ain't one of them. But let me know what you all think about this down below.